Okay, we on live.
All right, Shalawam, Yasharala. It's Great Millstone, New Orleans, coming back at you with another live lesson. But before we get started, as always, we're going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahawah,
Yahweh,
Bahasham,
Yahweh,
Yahawashi, Bahasham, Yahweh.
Bahasham.
Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the hopeful elect. So tonight we're just going to go into how, in these last days, we've had a lot of people learn from the elders, the apostles, and even various camps, and then they'll pop up, and something about the doctrine offends them, and so they'll learn bits and pieces from different camps, and then start their own camp, and it's really a seducing spirit. It makes Jake think you can just pick up the Bible and say whatever you want, and this is going to cause a lot of people to get killed. A lot of Israelites are going to be destroyed because they don't take heed to sound doctrine. They don't take heed to the actual men that were set up by Yahweh Bashem Yahawashi. So we're going to start with some scriptures and Abaratazad's edifying. So give me that First Corinthians 8.
The book of First Corinthians, chapter 8, and verse 1 says, "Now as touching things offered unto idols, we know that we all have knowledge. Knowledge puffeth it up, but charity edifieth."
Knowledge puffeth it up. So, when you come into this truth, I would say if you watch Great Millstone specifically, but even some of these other camps, if you're watching videos for about 6 months, you could easily learn 200-300 precepts. You could learn more history than you're ever going to learn in a public school. You're going to learn more about race, nationality. You're going to be on a higher level than 99% of the population just by watching Hebrew Israelite videos. And if you're not guided by the Holy Spirit, that could easily just puff you up and have you thinking that you're this high and mighty, highfalutin Negro, not realizing that there's elders that have been doing this for decades before most of us have been born. They lived in a time when you had to actually go to the library physically. You had to go through microfiche. You had to get I don't even remember what they call it anymore. The card with they had a system where you go to the card will be on it's just an ancient way of getting wisdom. But what it did is it sharpened them to the point where they have all these books and it's just freely given to us. Like you have a book like Esau, Edom, Rome. You have books like even the Zondervan. These are things that you're never going to learn in church. You're never going to know how to go into these different things. And these men have put years, decades into this to the point where they could just give it away freely. And then Jake watches it and thinks, "Oh, okay, I could do that. Okay, I didn't seen a few videos from elders, apostles. I can do that. I can break down Revelation. I can make it mean this, make it mean that. I can hop to this precept and that precept. You're puffed up with knowledge. You're bugged out of your mind. And we're at a point now where, for the past couple of days, the apostles have been going into the MOTB, breaking it down again, which they've been doing it. And you like the elder said earlier, you have a lot of people that are now realizing since the MOTB is so obvious, it's obvious who's been right this whole time. Now you have men that have been lifted up with pride. They can't just come out and say, "Look, we were wrong. GMS was right." They have to double down in wickedness, man. And this is the wrong spirit to be in. And if you following these other groups, you're going to be destroyed. We don't say this to boast of ourselves. We're really letting you know, like, there's one truth. And if you don't follow it, you're going to be destroyed. Keep going.
Verse 2, it says, "And if any man think that he knoweth anything, he knoweth nothing yet as he ought to know."
Read that again, Baba Gushar. That's
God. Verse 2 again, it says, "And if any man think that he knoweth anything, he knoweth nothing yet as he ought to know."
God. This truth was freely given to us. And if you start thinking, "Okay, I'm this top nigga, I'm this top scholar," you don't know anything, man. You don't even know what the little bit that you learned. You don't even know that much because as a brother read in verse 1, it says, "Knowledge puffeth up, but charity edifieth." You have all sorts of Jakes in Israel that can memorize 100 precepts, but have no idea how to be a brother. They have no idea how to deal amongst men. They have no idea how to be honest, how to be direct, how to be upright in spirit. But they can quote the Bible front to back. They could jump from Isaiah to Revelation. They got the armband, got all sorts of He-Man gimmicks, but they don't know how to just be a brother, just be a man of the Lord amongst other men. Something like that is just completely over their head, man.
I got you.
Yeah, your screen froze out. You might want to come out and come back in.
Oh man.
Gone. But yeah, this is matter of fact, you can read that Timothy while you coming back.
This First Timothy chapter 3, verse 6. It says, "Not a novice, lest being lifted up with pride, he fall into the condemnation of the devil."
God, it says not a novice. This word novice in the Greek is Strong's G3504. It says neophytos, which means newly planted, a young convert. Now, if you're a young convert that's been newly planted, why are you trying to challenge the men that taught you? You're bugged out, man. That's a no-no, man. Especially, see what brothers, the elder, I forget which elder, they says it all the time how this is a Eastern book. The word Oriental means Eastern, of the East. The Bible is an Eastern book. It's not based on Western philosophy. And if you look at any Eastern culture, it's all about a master and a student. It's all about a sensei and someone learning. And this Bible is really about masters and disciples. That's really what the scriptures are about. And we have masters in this truth. We have people that are above us. Some certain brothers that might be officers. You start to have men above you and men below you, and you have to learn how to deal. There's a hierarchy and an order to do away with confusion. When you start coming with, okay, I learned from this man, but now I'm gonna cuss out this man, that's completely out of order. That's a huge no-no in ancient culture. And Jake has really been in Babylon too long. Jake is in that single mother, effeminate spirit where you just want to say that to hell with a Israelite man. He doesn't have any authority over me. I don't need a man to tell me nothing. That's not a spirit of a man of the Lord. That's a spirit that you got from your mom. Y'all got to grow out of that, Jake. We got to deal as men and specifically as men of the Lord. Because why? Matter of fact, read it again. It's going to tell you why.
Verse 6, you want to read verse 6 over?
Come on.
It says, "Not a novice, lest being lifted up with pride, he fall into the condemnation of the devil."
Right, the condemnation of the devil, man. Pride comes before destruction. So if you're being lifted up with pride, you run the risk of falling into the condemnation of the devil, man. We can see where pride has gotten Esau. Look at how he runs his society. All right, women over men, children over parents, just random, just a free-for-all society where anything goes, and everyone thinks that they deserve to be worshipped. That selfie culture, that self-love culture, that leads to nothing but confusion. Because if you worship yourself, why would you need to listen to somebody else? How's somebody going to tell you something? How are you going to accept rebuke if you're the end all be all? That's the wrong spirit to be in. And Jake has brought that spirit into Israel, and it's led to nothing but folly and confusion. But we can get if y'all brothers had anything.
I got that Second Timothy 3:2, if not.
Oh, you got it up. Yeah.
It's 2 Timothy 3:2. "For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy." Yeah, and that's what you had today, Jake. Not only just being disobedient to your natural parents you was born to, but your spiritual parents, man. And Jake just got this spirit of rebellion, like a spoiled brat, so to speak. And and Jake should just it's a way to handle things, man. You should be able to, if you do disagree with your eldest man who taught you this truth, there's a way going around it, and how to do it, but not to broadcast it out to the world, though, like, oh, I'm just the top guy now, whatever the case may be, or even though I got all my breakdowns from you, but you off, what is that, So, and that's just the spirit that's going on, just men being proud and blasphemous and giving heed to the seducing spirits and everything else now.
God, yeah, that was a beautiful point, Ak, because like you said, if you disagree with your elders, there's a way to go about doing it. You might, first of all, if you believe that the people that taught you the truth are going off, 10 times out of 10, they've said something that you can't receive right now. But if it's meant for you to get, you'll get it a couple of weeks later, a couple of months. You might come across a video just out of nowhere, not even looking for it, and it'll click. But that requires patience. But if you're just like, nah, you wrong, you going off, you trying so hard to make your point known, the Lord will resist the pride, man. You actually condemning yourself by going against the men that are teaching you. That's like, if there's something that's a part of the doctrine that you can't get it, just pray on it, man. It's not difficult. Certain stumbling blocks, we all come from different walks of life. There may be something dealing with the Gentiles, or something dealing with the woman. Typically, that's what it is, or something dealing with the nations. If it's something that's stirring in your spirit, you sit on that, you pray on it, you study, you ask questions. You don't just say, "Well, look, I got it. These men that have been doing it for decades, they're going off. I need to correct them and reprove them." The Most High came to me and told me that this is what this word really means. The Lord's not dealing with that, man. That's totally out of order. But Kaya, if you got the audio. Can you hear? You see? Yeah, he's still having difficulty.
This shit.
Oh, we can hear you. You want to get a precept?
Yeah, I'm just waiting to see what's going on with this shit. It's my internet tripping.
Hey, Ak, if you can,
Just go ahead. I'll wait till it get clear.
if you can, Kaya, if you can, do you got Google Chrome? You got Google Chrome? Come through Google Chrome. If you got Google Chrome, go through Google Chrome to come up. If not, just try to download it real fast, the app, and come through that. That's the only way it works. This is gonna mess up.
I'm straight
mess up
now.
through Safari.
I'm still froze to y'all.
Yeah, it's not the internet. It's not the internet. It's the software program that you're going through, which is Safari. You gotta go through Google Chrome.
I gotta download that. I don't got Google Chrome on my iPhone. I gotta download it. But y'all go ahead. Let me do that shit. I'll be back. Man.
All right. Jabbar, get that Sirach.
It's Sirach 8 verse 8. Despise not the discord of the wise, but acquaint thyself with thy proverb. Let's say acquaint. Acquaint, so I get. But acquaint thyself with their proverbs, for of them thou shalt learn instruction, and how to serve great men with ease.
It says, despise not the discourse of the wise. And who's the wise? All right, the actual men of the Lord that was set up by Yahawashi Yahawashi. It says, acquaint thyself with their proverbs, which acquaint means to make yourself familiar, to become friendly, to become used to hearing men that are older than you, men that are elders, men that have wisdom. It says, for of them thou shalt learn instruction and how to serve great men with ease, which is what we come into the truth ultimately to do. Yahawashi, when he walked the earth, he served the disciples, and he was greater than them in rank. He was, he's the top Israelite on the planet, and he made himself a servant. That's what you do when you come into the truth. You learn how to serve great men with ease. You don't learn a bunch of precepts to exalt yourself and make yourself the head of a camp that's teaching a bugged out doctrine, but gets a whole lot of views. YouTube is about to be shut down. The truth is not going to be on YouTube for much longer. So your whole idea of a ministry being based around views and clicks and likes, you have no idea what you're involved in. But keep going.
Verse 9, despise not, said, miss not the discord of the elders, for they also learn of their fathers, and of them thou shalt learn understanding, and to give answer as needed required.
God, miss not the discourse of the elders. You got jakes that learn from the elders up until a point, and then they just start making up their own doctrine. And now Satan has entered their mind, and they actually believe that they're set up to teach the men that taught them, which is insane. But this is how demons work. Next, 1 minute you're in the truth, you're excited to find out you're an Israelite. You're excited to know that you have a heritage, law, statutes, and commandments. You're excited to go through the Bible. You highlighting this and that. You connecting this precept to that precept. Next thing you know, the men that taught you all of that, the men that taught you your heritage, the laws, the kingdom of heaven, the promises, they're going off, and now you need to teach Israel your own personal doctrine. Total madness. It says, and of them thou shalt learn understanding, and to give answer as need requireth. Not every thought that comes in your mind needs to be shared to the world, Jake. There's certain things that you could keep to yourself, especially if you're a young man. brothers really, for the past, what I would say 6 months, we've been making trips, dealing with different elders. The apostle came down to Dallas while we were there. You learn the order between things, man. There's just another level to this truth that Jake isn't getting, because Jake is just watching videos on YouTube. Jake isn't really becoming more active in the ministry. There's an order in everything. So why wouldn't there be an order to the Lord's ministry? The most important thing on the earth right now has no order. It's just a free-for-all. Madness.
I got something for you.
You got it, Art.
It's the book of Titus, chapter 1 and verse 16. It says, let's just get straight to the point. It says, they profess that they know Yahawah, but in works they deny him, being abominable and disobedient, and unto every good work a reprobate. Yeah, and pretty much, they claim that they know the Lord. All right, they fooling, people that watch him and shit like that, look like they know the Lord, but really and truly, like it says, in their works, they denying him. By coming against your elders. Really, when you go back into the ancient world, like going into Chinese culture and shit of that nature, when you like disrespect or go against your sensei or master, that's really like taboo. No, you can never go under another man's dojo, because you're a reprobate, right? You can't be taught. And it's the same thing in today's world. You got it, bro.
Yeah, read verse 15. Huh?
Verse 15. It says, unto the pure, all things are pure, but unto them that are defiled and unbelieving is nothing pure, but even their mind and conscience is defiled.
And this precept goes into so many different things, but on the subject of tonight's lesson, man, there's an actual purity that comes with the men of the Lord. We believe that, even though we're men in the flesh, we're men that have earthly desires. We're men that, scripture speaks about slipping with the tongue. They're men that makes certain mistakes when they talk. But at the end of the day, we know that there's a group of men on the planet, regardless of what type of worldly or fleshly things, we know that there's a group of men who have righteous spirits who are speaking sound doctrine. That's pure to us. It says, unto the pure, all things are pure, but unto them that are defiled and unbelieving is nothing pure. So you'll look at any man, no matter how long he's been teaching, no matter how many things you agree with, because your mind is defiled, you have to find some type of flaw in this person so that you can exalt yourself. And when you're defiled, everything is undefiled. Okay, there can't be 100% truth because you don't have 100% faith, or there can't be actual elders because you're not an elder and you don't believe in order. Your inability to receive the truth, you turn that into a doctrine and you start pushing it on Israel because you're defiled. But you still had the precept, Kaya, your video and audio straight.
I think, let me see. Kind of had two of them, but it's still on the original topic that you came out with, right? Right, yeah. This Proverbs 30 and 32. They had a couple of them, but it says, if thou hast done foolishly and lifting thyself up, or if thou hast thought evil, lay thy hand upon thy mouth. Or more or less, if, like you say, Jake being novices and different things in this matter, man, you got to be able to know, all right, when your tongue have basically deceive your heart, man. All right, because out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speak. So Jake think everything that he's saying, he's getting a divine intervention from the Lord to deliver that, man. You got to still know, you got to have there's a spirit that comes with knowing who the Lord is actually dealing with on the planet Earth. Because if you look back at the ancient time, people always knew who the Lord was dealing with. When you go to Moses, Joshua, the Lord always had a clear figure in Israel that he was always dealing with, man. From Samuel. So what would make people think today that the Lord, there's no idea who the Lord dealing with? Or you got the spirit to say, well, the Lord ain't said that. He put the spirit on me to tell you this, man. You just really you link prophecy, man. You just those that came up against the prophets, but you got it, bro.
You got it, Kabar.
I was back up, Kaya. we return to His truth, back to His truth. Hey, Lord gave us discernment. Who is the righteous? Who is the wicked? Who serve the Lord? Who don't serve the Lord? Just backing you up.
Yeah, man. That's why when we have understanding, we answer our neighbor, as it says in Sirach 5:12, man. If not, we lay our hand upon our mouth. In other words, you gotta just, at the end of the day, like, man, look, what concerns me, because people, I did a video, I ain't able to grab it off the other phone, but I wasn't able to upload it. But I did a video on men positions have overwhelmed their purpose, man. All right, meaning the thing, the purpose, the overall thing, men have let their positions, their following, and different things like that. What lift them up, man? Now they have forgotten the purpose in which they have come in the truth about salvation. All right, winning souls and returning men into the heavenly Father, man. Now it's all about a competition. Who could be the one to bring down Apostle Elder Tahal? What is we doing, man? All right, I'm gonna be the one to rebuke him. Yeah, I'm gonna say his name, and this and that. Okay, like, but go ahead, brother.
And then what?
Then what?
Israel's supposed to follow you niggas? Like, come on, man. This doctrine would never go out correctly, and nothing would ever get done. You're not set up to set up elders in different states and camps. That's already that office has already been properly allocated to who the Lord wanted, man, not who you want. All right, but Quashab, if you can get Malachi 3:17 to back up Kabar, you got it.
If I can say this, most men don't even have no offers or nothing they trying to get. It's just a hominem attacks. It's just like a all out assault and attack on. I'ma just attack this person, man, because they're looking at it as if everybody reveres this man. No, we revere the words of Yahawashi, Yahawashi. And if it come of this vessel, then it be so, man. All right? But Jake under the impression, oh, if nobody say nothing to Elder Tahal, ain't nobody gonna tell him nothing of this or that. What you mean, man? We're in the ministry of priests and prophets, man. All right? At the end of the day, that's what it's about. Getting what? The Lord word across. Go ahead, you got it.
That's a good point. And it shows you how reprobate they are, because if you're telling somebody that, look, this established institution is wrong, you should be prepared to offer something better. You should be prepared to, if you're saying, okay, this leader is leading incorrectly, then obviously there should be a leader that's leading correctly. So if you're saying, well, it shouldn't be this guy, you're indirectly saying it should be me, but you don't want the responsibility that comes with leading Israel. You don't want the responsibility that comes with rebuking different camps and just defending the gospel. So it's wicked and selfish for you to try to tear down what the Lord established, and you don't even have anything to offer Israel. You're just a nigga with an opinion, man.
Jake ain't even seeking preeminence, man. It's like Jake ain't just trying to get nothing out the deal. Jake just like, I just want to be a destroyer of something just to build nothing.
Yeah.
It's just a destroying campaign. You know, they're on a common college mission. I'm gonna kill myself in there.
You gonna burn the house down, huh? The minute I was talking about that earlier. Jake get on there, I'm gonna tear the whole house down. I'm taking the whole house down, man. Good luck with that.
Yeah, I can't have my way, so I'm gonna take my ball and go home, ass niggas, man. But get that Malachi 3:17.
You got it.
This Malachi chapter 3, verse 17. It says, and they shall be mine, say Yahweh of hosts, in that day when I will make up my jewels and will spare them as a man spared his own son and serveth them.
Yeah, your audio bugged out again.
Yeah.
That's
That's Quashab. You straight.
Oh, Salah. My bad, bro.
Kalai, you get the Malachi 3:17.
Got you, bro.
Yeah, Satan just attacking it. Anytime we rebuke pride or get on Esau, man.
I got it. It's the book of Malachi, chapter 3, and verse 17. It says, and they shall be mine, saith the Lord of hosts, in that day when I make up my jewels, and I will spare them as a man spared his own son that served him.
Matter of fact, Papa Shah started 16. So
gotcha. Verse 16, it says, then they that feared the Lord spake often one to another, and the Lord hearkened and heard it, and a book of remembrance was written before him for them that feared the Lord and that thought upon his name.
Right, and that's talking about the elect speaking to each other. The elect are the ones that fear the Lord, and the elect are the ones that are going to be written in the book of life. So it's all about trying to be a part of the gathering of the elect of the nation of Israel. And we're in that time of that gathering happening. So what part of the process do you play? Keep going.
Verse 17 it says, and they shall be mine, saith the Lord of hosts, in that day when I make up my jewels, and I will spare them as a man spareth his own son that serveth him.
God, and this is one of my favorite precepts, man. The Lord referring to his men as his jewels. He's preparing his jewelry right now. Every man of the Lord is a precious stone, jasper, tiger eye, you name it. We're all part of the Lord's jewelry. So when you get called into the fold and you get called to put off the ways of this world, which part of the ways of this world is pride, thinking that you got it, thinking that you know everything. That's a worldly spirit. You need to have that dross and those impurities burnt off you, so you could become polished, man. Keep going.
Verse 18. Then shall you return and discern between the righteous and the wicked, between him that serveth Yahweh and him that serveth him not.
God, so if you're part of the Lord's jewelry, you're going to be able to discern between the righteous who's serving the Lord and the wicked who's serving themselves, serving their own belly, trying to, like the elder says, you look every time you see an Israelite, you see a number on top of their head, like a cartoon character. You just counting, okay, I can get 500 from him, get 200 from him. Okay, you got a big family, I can get 700 from them. That's a wicked nigga. And when you put off the ways of this world and you start to look through things with the mind of Yahawashi, it's very easy to see who's not serving the Lord. It's not you got brothers that have been in the camp a couple of months. They can just look at a video and say, okay, this guy's off because of this. You get discernment. You want to ask something, Kabor?
Oh no, yeah, you got it.
Oh, Khan. Yeah, you get the spirit of discernment when you start serving the Lord correctly, because you can see, okay, this person, he's not doing anything I'm doing. He's not making his body a living sacrifice. He's not being humble, or he's not listening to sound doctrine. He's not doing this. He's not doing that. When you serve the Lord wholeheartedly, you can immediately identify who's going off. It's just one of those things. And, it comes with time, because when you first find out you're an Israelite, you just start watching different videos. Okay, I like the way this sounds. I like the way that sounds. I like the way this brother speaks. I like that garment. Oh, this video's got top production quality and special effects. Oh, this guy be cussing out the white man. You don't really know who's serving the Lord and who isn't. You just know this is entertaining to me. This guy's informative. But once you start to really take this thing seriously, you're like, man, they're teaching that? Like, what? They're teaching the name of the Lord doesn't matter? Like, what? How could you, you start to really have that discernment. And that comes from humbling yourself to the men that the Lord set up. There's no other way of putting it.
Yeah.
You got it up.
You want to say something, Kaya?
Wait, make your point, huh?
No, I got a precept.
Yeah, now you go from preference, and that's being a novice. And the truth, you go from preference to what? Necessity. Meaning what? Now these are the things that I need. These are things I look for. Because like you said, man, be informative. This may be that. And again, man, like the brother said, in the opening monologue, you could just get a bunch of precepts, man. That don't mean you know the Lord. Like, that's not the end of knowing the Lord, man. Just because you could put a precept and categorize it correctly with maybe something you're saying, that don't mean it applied to the elders, man. You got to know where wisdom goes, the beginning, the foundation, how it travels through men, who is set up upon, who is it set up to give down through other men, man. Wisdom has a pattern to it, man. Wisdom not all over the place, all right? Every man don't have wisdom just because they can read the Bible. They can know how to maneuver in the Bible, here a little, there a little, and still don't have the overall wisdom you just don't know what he's doing, man.
God, that's a good point, because wisdom is everywhere, but it's not all over the place. That's two different things.
God.
You got it.
It's the book of Hebrews, chapter 13, and verse 17. It says, obey them that have rule over you, and submit yourselves. For they watch over your souls as they that must give account, that they may do it with joy and not with grief, for it is unprofitable for you. And the main point was, hey, you got to obey those that have rule over you. The Lord put these men in certain positions, like it says, to watch over your souls, man. All right, to make certain decisions, and I pay attention to certain things that's going on in the world, and it's like that for a reason. All right, this a spiritual game that's going on. You know, it's not a game. It's real life. All right, men's souls are on the line, and these men that have offices, they're set there for a reason. You got it, bro.
Okay, beautiful point. Okay, you got it, Kaya.
This
You want to say something, Kamara?
Well, no, I was it kind of sounded like a little bit on Kaya. Like I did go in Kaya, Shalawam.
I got one.
I'm good. Go ahead, y'all gonna.
Let me see. Yeah, this is 1 Thessalonians 5:12. It says, "And I beseech you, brethren, to know them which labor among you, and are over you in the Lord, and admonish you, and to esteem them very highly in love for their works' sake, and be at peace among yourselves." You got it out.
Okay, that's plain. You got to esteeming men for their works. Why? Because you know that their works are of Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi. And that also comes from discernment, because you have men that have works just to get YouTube views. And if you watch the apostles, one thing you know, they don't care how many people click the video. They're not trying to become YouTube celebrities. They actually care about the ministry. They care about the word going out correctly. And you as a neophyte, you as somebody that's just coming into the truth, you should look at that and acknowledge it. And really, you should admire it, because this is a time where everyone in the world with a social media account is trying to get famous, trying to get clout. You see a group of men that are really high up in the nation of Israel, and they're not trying to use that or abuse it to become celebrities. That's an admirable quality for someone that could be famous, that's intentionally trying to look, I'm not here to be this internet sensation. I'm here to preach the word. That's the spirit Moses was in. He was high up in Egypt, but he would rather serve the Lord. That's the spirit that we're all in, to put off the ways of this world to serve Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi. You got guys making themselves out to be Moses with special effects and splitting the seat. Like that, there should be some discernment in your mind. Like, man, this guy's off. There's something wrong with this. Like,
I got a little more.
God.
It's just giving you instructions on how things supposed to be done. And it says, "And to esteem them very highly in love for their work's sake, and be at peace among yourselves." Excuse me. So now we exhort you, brethren, warn them that are unruly, comfort the feeble-minded, support the weak, be patient towards all men. See that none render evil for evil unto any man. Be ever follower that which is good, both among yourselves and to all men.
Can you read that part again where it says, "Be at peace among yourselves"? I think it was the beginning of the verse.
Okay. Come on, at the start.
Yeah, where you got started.
Okay, 13. It says, and to esteem them very highly in love for their work's sake, and be at peace among yourselves.
God. And what puts men at peace? Order. All right, you can't have a group of men on a team. Nobody knows who the point guard is. Nobody knows who the center is. Everybody wants the ball. Nobody knows who the coach is. You can't have a military. Nobody knows who's private, who's lieutenant, who's sergeant. We all just got our own opinion. Order is the only thing that establishes peace amongst a group of strong-minded men, because every man ultimately wants to have his way, but you need order. Like, okay, this is where I rank. This is where this man ranks. And it's not to lord over each other. Yahawashi said, don't be like the heathen. They have rank so they could lord over one another. We have rank to establish order, which puts us at peace amongst each other. If we all acknowledge, okay, this is the elder, we're going to follow the elder. okay, that leads to peace. Any type of discrepancy or any type of altercations that could come is settled because we all acknowledge, okay, this is the Lord, this is Heavenly Father, this is Son, this is the presbytery, these are the elders, this is the elder of the camp, second in command. That does away with strife because everybody's putting their own pride aside to deal with what's most important, which is the ministry. But you can highlight the one where Audrey put 1 Corinthians 4:9. I'll read it. It says, "For I think that the Most High had set forth us, the apostles, last, as it were appointed to death, for we are made a spectacle unto the world and to angels and to men." And that word apostle means sent forth. It means that the men that were sent. Goliath, you can get Romans 10 and start at 13. Because contrary to popular belief, there's actually apostles on the earth right now. There are men that are sent from Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, and the scriptures are going to prove it.
It's the book of Romans, chapter 10. You said 13, right, bro?
Con.
Romans 10 and 13. For whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. How then shall they call on him in whom they have not believed? And how shall they believe in him of whom they have not heard? And how shall they hear without a preacher? And how shall they preach except they be sent?
Right. Now, that word preacher in the Greek means prophet. It's charazio. And it says, how can they preach except they be sent? Now, again, the word apostle means sent forth. So the scripture is telling you, starting at verse 13, whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. Now, how are you going to call on the name Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi in Babylon the Great, where everyone's speaking English, everyone has Bibles that say Jesus the Christ, everybody's walking around bugged out? You need to hear preachers preaching the name Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi. It says, how then shall they call on him whom they have not believed? How can you believe on the name that goes with Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi? You have to believe on the prophecies. You have to believe that there's actual events that took place in history that were performed by this God, which is what the men of the Lord do. We go into the scriptures and show you, look, this isn't a religious book. This book has nothing to do with Christianity. All right, race has nothing to do with your color or your geographical region. It's about your lineage. Breaking down the scriptures. The truth of the scriptures have to be broken down by men of the Lord. All right, going back to, what is that, Nehemiah 8? You have a prophet stand right here. You have men on the right and the left bringing out the precepts. That's how you learn the Bible, by men that are sent by Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi. There's no way around that. You can't just get the truth from men of the Lord and then say, well, look, everyone that taught me the truth is wrong. This is what it is. I'm right now. The Lord's dealing with me. You bugged out, man. Keep going.
God, I start at the top again from 15. It says, and how shall they preach except they be sent? As it is written, how beautiful are the feet of them that preach the gospel of peace and bring glad tidings of good things. But they have not all obeyed the gospel. For Isaiah said, Lord, who hath believed our report? Keep going.
Keep going.
God. Verse 17, it says, so then faith cometh by hearing, and hearing by the word of Yahawah.
Right. Faith cometh by hearing, and hearing by the word of Yahawah. So you're not going to be saved if you don't, number one, know the name of the Lord. Number two, believe on the name of the Lord. And that comes from men on the earth. All right. Which really, it goes back to what we now call One West. Those were the men that really published the name and the importance of Yahawashi, the knowledge of who the 12 tribes are, which that's another thing. Jake bucking up against the 12 tribes sign. But then you ask him, well, okay, well, who are the 12 tribes? Oh, we don't know. How the hell are you going to teach the 12 tribes of Israel if you don't know who the 12 tribes are? You got Jake saying, I don't know who this tribe is or that tribe is. So how are you a man of the Lord? How's the Lord going to tell you to go teach his people, but not tell you who his people are? That's plain, man. Jake is bugged out. But Jake will try to turn their lack of faith into a doctrine. Jake can't come out and say, look, I just don't believe. I just don't have the faith. Jake got to make it seem like, no, everyone else is going off. Everyone else in Israel is wrong. But I got the truth. But I don't know who the Israelites are. Total madness. But Rashab, if your audio is a little better, you can get Sirach 7 and 29.
I got you something too. After that.
You hear me?
Yeah, you good.
It's Sirach 7:29. It says, "Fear the Lord with all thy soul, and reverence His priests."
God says, "Fear the Lord with all thy soul and reverence His priests." Why does it say those two things back to back? Because the Lord speaks through His priests. He speaks through His prophets. You can't say I fear the Lord, but fuck the apostles. Well, I fear the Lord, but to hell with them niggas that are preaching the Lord. Like that doesn't go together, man. You fear the Lord by reverencing the men that He established to teach you the word, because that's the only way the Lord's talking to you. The Lord's not cracking the clouds to personally tell one nigga, okay, look, this is the real breakdown of the market. That's not happening, man. The Lord is speaking through His men, which He always has. Matter of fact, we're gonna have to get Hebrews 1. You can get that, Samakia.
Hebrews 1.
Kind.
All right, this Hebrews 1:1. Yahweh, who at sundry times and in divers manners spake in time past unto the fathers by the prophets.
God, that's plain. The Lord has spoken to the fathers, all right, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He spoke to King David, King Solomon. He speaks to Israel through the prophets, man. That's plain. Daniel 9 and 10, Hosea 12 and 10. We can go all day, man. The Lord speaks through prophets. All right. Oh, you got it, Kaya.
Man, wisdom coming to the old man. This is two quick ones real quick. This is 37, 32 and 7. It says, I said, days should speak and multitude of years should teach wisdom. Now, what do that even sound like? Because days and years can't teach wisdom and say nothing. A day and a year can't say anything. So this got to be in a reference to something, right? So when you go to the NLT, it says, I thought those who are older should speak, for wisdom comes with age. So that X out novices and different things like that, the Lord is clear cut, man. Here is really no middle ground with the Lord, man. All right. And Jay got to know where wisdom is at, man. All right. Who holds the trump card? And the Lord gonna always show where His wisdom and knowledge is at, because the people that believe or the people that has to come into their lots, they have to find out where the duty of their lots is at. They got to get pointed to their lots, man. All right. That's why men set up lots before other men, that they could point the other men to their lots, man. All right. This is Sirach 25, and you got it, all right? And 3. It says, if thou hast gathered nothing in thy youth, how canst thou find anything in thine age? How calmly a thing is judgment for gray hairs, and for ancient men to know counsel. Oh, how calmly is the wisdom of old men, and understanding and counsel to men of honor. For much experience is the crown of old men, and the fear of our power is the glory. You got it?
God, and that precept goes into the difference between elders and elders, because you do have old niggas that are old, but they're not elders. Then you have actual elders that have experience. And if you're doing something right now, and the very same thing that you're doing, you see that someone else has been doing it for 35 years, unless you're a total reprobate, you would have to think, okay, I should probably be listening to this person. I could probably learn a thing or two from this man who has decades of experience. But Jake doesn't know how to discern, going back to Malachi 3 and 18. Jake doesn't know how to discern between an older and an elder. Jake will actually make the apostles of great Millstone an older, and then some random nigga with a staff and a gray beard, oh, he's my elder. Why? Because he's not going to rebuke you when you go off. He doesn't really care about your soul. He's not watching over your soul. He's just trying to get views just like you.
A dude with David written on his shirt with a Sharpie, that's your elder. You know? Bullshit, man.
Yeah,
bullshit, brother.
Hey, just because you have platforms and everybody can speak, that don't mean everybody should be speaking, huh? Right? You got all these platforms and Jake just feel privileged. All right, just to be, I could go in there and say whatever, and people believe me over this person. Just because everybody can speak, that don't mean everybody should be speaking, brother. That's plain. All right? That's just plain, man. You know?
Con. Kabar, get Sirach 32 and 7. That's right on time.
I got one for you too.
Con. You can get yours out.
Okay, Con, this Isaiah 19 and 18. And you know, it's just the backing up the point you was talking about earlier about you gotta have the name of the Father and the Son, man. You know, and it can't be in Greek, Latin, whatever. It's gotta be in that, you know, that Paleo Hebrew, you know, and it says Isaiah 19:18, in that day shall 5 cities in the land of Egypt, which is spiritual Egypt, not the physical Egypt, speak the language of Canaan and swear to the Yahawah host, one shall be called the city of destruction. So yeah, you're gonna be calling on the name of the Lord in the Paleo Hebrew, man, speaking the language of Canaan, which again is the Paleo Hebrew. So you can't really call yourself a man of Lord if you don't incorporate that, man. You know, you're just a faker pretty much. You know, you don't have the 100% truth.
I got one to go with Samaya. This is Zephaniah 3 and 9. It says, "For then will I turn to the people a pure language, that they may all call upon the name of the Lord to serve him with one consent."
Con. And how are you going to learn that without teachers, without elders? How are you going to learn a language you never heard of before without the Lord putting the Spirit on men to teach you? Which is clearly what happened. That's how we all got Hebrew names. We all call on Yahweh Bashem Yahawashi. We all say Shalawam. You know, we deal with the Hebrew. Why? Because the Lord is putting that back on the earth, and He's used men to do it. You have to identify who those men are, or it's not some nigga on Facebook with a t-shirt fringes business, and he's typing all his Hebrew, but he won't go out to the highways and hedges and teach the commandments. You have to have that discernment, Jake. Not everybody is a teacher. Not everybody's a prophet. That comes from somewhere. The Lord actually established a body. He established a church. It has heads. It has bishops. It has elders.
Hey, Jake believe because you young. See, Jake misconstrue youth with youngness. Just like they misconstrue what? Old with an elder. All right? Because youth, when you take youth, it just really means you in your strength. And really you're in your strength off the inspiration in which the Lord planted in your spirit. That's technically what that means. Because if you get woke up early, you're, you know, a novice. But at the end of the day, your youth means you in your full strength, man. All right? That's what that means. And our elders and apostles, though yet they old, their vessels are rising this as of now to what? In their full strength, man. All right, because why? They have the full age of understanding the scriptures, man. All right, that means you in your youth. All right, a man in his youth, he in his full strength. It don't mean he 20 years old or the Lord dealing with the young. You got to understand and distinguish between the young and youth, man. You got it out.
Con. Get that Sirach 32.
Con is Sirach 32 verse 7. Speak, young men, if there be need of thee, and yet scarcely when thou art twice vexed.
Con. It says, "Speak, young man, if there need be, and yet scarcely when thou art asked twice." Meaning, you're not supposed to be in a rush to be over talking elders. You're not supposed to be running your mouth around men older than you. You're not supposed to be in that spirit because, you know, brothers say all the time, the Lord gave you one mouth and 2 ears for a reason. You should be listening twice as much as you're speaking. That's how you absorb knowledge. That's how you learn from listening, man. Keep going.
It's let thy speech be short, comprehending much in few words. Be as one that knoweth and yet holdeth his tongue.
Right. It says, be as one that knoweth and yet holdeth his tongue. When you watch the truth, whether just watching videos or you come into camp, you taking notes. Again, you're gonna learn hundreds of precepts in a matter of months. And certain Jakes, they're in the spirit of, I got 12 precepts. Are we talking about this topic? I got 18 precepts. We all have 18 precepts. Like, that's not, obviously you're gonna have precepts if you watching Hebrew Israelite videos. It's about knowing and knowing when to speak, when to be quiet, when to chime in, when to let another brother speak, how to let the spirit move. This is a new song we're singing, and there's an orchestra. You can't just have 100 trombones just playing, just screaming, and there's a melody to this thing. it requires experience for you to learn how to play the new song, man.
I got a precept to go with Gabar just brought out what you said a little bit. This is 2 Corinthians 10 and 13. It says, I'm gonna read down. It says, but we will not boast of things without measure, but according to the measure of the rule which Yahawah has distributed to us, a measure to reach even unto you, for we stretch not ourselves beyond our measure, as though we reach not unto you, for we are come as far as to you also in preaching the gospel of Yahawashi. I said, and it says, this is the point right here though. It says, not boasting of things without our measure, that is, of other men's labors, but it says, but having hope when your faith is increased, that ye shall be enlarged by you according to our rule abundantly. And it goes on to say, to preach the gospel is in the regions beyond you, and not to boast in another man's lines of things made ready to our hands. You know, go ahead.
God, you're not supposed to boast in another man's works, another man's labor. All right, you didn't come up with the Paleo Hebrew. You didn't come up with the 12 tribe sign. You didn't come up with the name of the Lord. You didn't come up with the understanding of the book of Revelation, the book of Daniel, the book of Second Ezra. You didn't come up with that. We're entering into other men's labors, men that again we're given the Holy Spirit to do these things and break them down and give them freely to the elect of the nation of Israel. In a time where there was no Google, there was no Wikipedia, there was no YouTube. You couldn't just go on and search, okay, Revelation 12 breakdown. Just type it in and it just comes right up. Jake is so, man, just ungrateful is the first word that comes to mind, man. Jake is completely ungrateful to Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. It's not even so much about being grateful to the elders, which that's a huge part of it, but being grateful to the Lord. For he didn't have to set up elders. Again, we say this all the time. The Lord could have just killed us and made a whole new nation of Israel. He could have just wiped out every Israelite but one man, had Jake go crazy with a bunch of women and bring back the nation. He didn't need to give us this. He could have kept his promise to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob with a whole new nation of Israel.
He like the other guy we know, the 1,000 preceptor. The other guy we know, you want to come in and and call shots, man. That's why it says things made ready to our hands. This thing was already whenever the Lord woke you up, in which you got a lot of guys boasting of being in GMS and they ain't in GMS, man. They put GMS on their name and ain't never talked to nobody. They never ran up to no head of state or nothing. They don't know nothing that's going on. They just self-proclaimed GMSs, man. All right? Which we know one. We know one. He's 1,000 preceptor. All right? And the guy was never in GMS, man. He just, rubbed shoulders with certain people and wanted to bounce to the top. But guess what? You already come into a fully furnished house already, man. You had no part in setting any brick, any mortar, any stone, nothing. You came when the house was already finished. And all brothers ask, come in and help maintain this house, man. But Jake want to be the owner of the house. He wants the deed. He wants to own the whole goddamn thing, man. And that shit off, man. It's a process. All right? It's a process, man. And that's why you see those bug outs where they at, man. Out somewhere 4 a.m, bringing it out sweating. Go ahead, that shit literally happened. But go ahead, man.
I'm about to bring a precept out just to back up exactly what the elder is saying. Like he said, hands or the ministry already made ready. This Proverbs 9:1. I'm gonna read to 5. It says, wisdom had builded her house. She had hewn out her 7 pillars. Brother I'm a wide up there, GMS pillar temple. It says, she had killed her beasts. She had mingled her wine. She had also furnished her table. See, the elder just said the house was furnished already. They already got the pillars of wisdom in it, which are what? The elders. That the Lord done put in the house. The body, the ministration. All right, those are hewn out. Those are the 7 pillars. That's the support in which the house is being built. It says, she has sent forth her maidens. She cried upon the high places of the city, meaning what? The men that's set up in the house, going out of the house, teaching to come into the house. It says, whoso is simple, let him turn in hither. As for him that wanted understanding, she said to him, which is this with wisdom telling the person that wanted come in the house, this what he needs to do. Come, eat of my bread and drink of my wine, which I have mingled already. You got it, bro.
Yeah, like that other guy, the Count Back Blackler of New Orleans. That guy, he want to jump rank. You're not even, you on the side. You want to jump rank over guys that's already in the camp, man. You know? And you think you got it, and like I said, that shit only goes for so long. You run out of gas, man. It's an order. It's a real order to this thing, man. And if you're not down with it, you're not down. And we got many cats that sit up here, get on the comment board, talking about how they gonna come down. But I said it last time, I said it again. A lot of these cats, they run from the discipline of the truth. They know what comes with having the GMS on their name. It has an order. You have to be answer for it, man. All right, you got to be accountable, and they run from that because they're going to continue being Lil Jody from the world doing the dysfunctional shit they've been doing. They know what comes with coming downtown, sitting out there on the block, writing down scriptures, and then actually getting in the body. They know what comes with that, man. So a lot of them don't even want to mess with it, which is cool. We hope that you stay where you want to be at, man, because a real man gonna be where he wants to be. Any real man that wants to get down with this, he's gonna get down with it. He's gonna get in order, man. All right. Yes, you have men, like the brother said earlier. You have men under you. You have men above you and under you, and sometimes you just have men over you, man. All right. You gotta want to. You have to. It has an order. We've been out of order for so long as a nation. It's just crazy, man. And you see it every day. You. Well, depending on where you're going at or where you at, you pass through the hood, you see it's just dysfunctional, man. That's why you see niggas on the Eyewitness News every morning, man. There ain't no damn order. And Jake ain't been wanting order since the time of Moses, man, and beyond. That's why the Lord call you a stiff-necked, hard-hearted people, and we see it, man. Some Jakes are just hard to deal with them, man. Well, go ahead, Doc.
Yeah, they're in that spirit of, is the Lord only dealing with you, Moses? What about me? The Lord dealing with me too.
Yeah.
Then the Lord starts speaking, they're like, oh, whoa, we want to talk to Moses. And that same thing is going to happen in Jacob's trouble. Like, oh, we want to talk to the apostles. The same men that you're talking about, when all hell breaks loose, you're going to want answers. Okay, you were right about the MOTB. What do? You die. That's what you do. All right?
You die.
Come on.
Yeah, Kabar, you still in Sirach 32?
Okay.
Read verse 9.
Yeah, it's too late to argue MOBT when the MOBT is being pumped out of these different institutions and throughout Esau's nation, kingdom, man. When they really set this thing mandatory out here, they got the paddy wagons and hunting your ass down looking for you to get it. We're going to see. You can't argue then.
Come.
Like the brother said, you just fucking, I'm gonna say it too, man. I'm gonna say it raw. You just fucking died, man. A lot of you gonna get that because you don't believe a goddamn thing, man. Here it is, brothers breaking the scriptures down backwards, forwards, A through Z, Z through A, and niggas still can't get it. You're ignorant, man. Meaning you ignore the fact of something. Because we're bringing out the facts. The facts are already on the table, live and direct, man. You're purposely doing the shit. And like I said, the Lord's going to purposely kill a lot of you, man. With the most rude intentions, too. Go ahead, Doc.
God. Yeah, brothers got whole lessons on the word charagma. Brothers got whole lessons on the word stigma. Brothers got whole, like you. The
inventor. Brothers, and they went into the history of who invented the charagma. The institution that came together and put money together to form that thing, man, to push it. Fair chip and everything, man. Niggas still don't believe. But that's, like I said, that's a lot of you shallow Israelites. There's a lot of you shallow groups out there. You don't want to go deep. You want to seem deep. And you want to seem like you got electricity coming out your ass, all right? And glowing and levitating. But you don't want to go deeper to knowing the things of the scriptures, man. And you see it. But then when you literally have the apostles that didn't set the pace how this thing supposed to go, you want to come up against them. Oh, they too big. Who wants to go into the etymology of words? Who wants to seem that, man, you gotta go. You have to go there sometimes, man. What the hell are you talking about? You niggas are shallow. You seem deep from afar. When you go to walking your ass out there, you niggas is ankle deep, man. And a lot of you want to stay that way. That's why a lot of your followers, them deadheads, they just want to march. They just want to hear Shalom, Israel. They get the rolling. It's an act, man. And a lot of you niggas are just a big joke, man. And that's why you get into these different religions and groups. Because you can seem deep. You can wear the biggest wooden African beads and all that unk shit, the head wrap, all that Egyptian musk clogging up your fucking noses. And you niggas just seem deep, man. But you niggas ain't really that deep. Grand Rising Queen shit, man. All right? And the shit is bullshit. This right here, you gotta be about it. You gotta live and breathe this thing, man. You gotta live it. And it's gonna show. If you're not living, it's gonna show in due time. Them seams and threads gonna bust open, man. It's gonna be made known who you are. All right? And that other shit, you can fake the funk all day, man. You can seem deep. They're like the other groups, you can wear the biggest. Them niggas be having wristbands up to their elbows, man. Spikes and shit. But then it just niggas, man. And like I said all the time, you know, coming from Apostle Heart, a lot of you Jakes, you just love some shit packaged. If it's packaged right, shiny, big old bow, you eat that shit up all day. But us over here, we come in rough, raw, and rugged. We come in giving you the straight and skinny. You don't like that, man. It's just plain. We plain Jane over here, man. It's nothing. It's no gimmicks to the truth. It's just the truth, man. Y'all keep saying the same thing over and over. The truth never is repetitive, man. You know? Well, go ahead. Like I said, I get into the shit, man, with goddamn niggas, man.
Yeah, the truth don't change. So why would if you have a teacher that's got a brand new breakdown every week, like them niggas that fell out of Chicago, they had a brand new breakdown every week, man. Just
every week, brother. Every week.
And it all comes from pride. You know, when you have demons that come on you to tell you that you're that guy and you don't resist those demons, you get destroyed. We personally know guys that come in the truth, they're super humble. Then a couple of years later, they got a giant wooden Flavor Flav clock on their chest talking about they'll heal you on camera. You walk up to the camp. All right, this is what pride does to you.
Like you said, men go in the latter days, you know, men should be lovers of themselves. Really, you saying what? Jake just really have a witty invention, brother. This is men is seeking out their own inventions, their own vices. And obviously, Jake have their reasons why. But like you say, okay, let's remove the apostles and elders out of the equation. Nah, I'm pre-eventually speaking, right? Move them out of the equation, set you up. Because you're rebuking them and you say, look, this ain't right, that ain't right. We're going to see how things go, man. And that's pretty much what it is, man. Jake won't call out the office, all right, but don't want to do nothing to improve it. And just because you can say anything you want, is that wise to say anything you want?
That's very unwise.
Yes.
You got it, Kabar.
Yes, brother.
Is Sirach 32 verse 9. If thou be amongst great men, make not thyself equal with them. And when ancient men are in place, use not many words.
Right. Don't make yourself equal to the men that taught you. Don't make yourself equal to the men that have hazarded their lives for decades. That's a clear sign of a reprobate, even in the world. Like nobody likes people that do that. That's not an admirable quality, especially for a man. Like you're a man and you don't respect older men that are doing what you're doing, but they've been doing it longer. Like that's something that's innate in a man. Like if you a Jake that's into football, you disrespecting Barry Sand, you disrespecting Deion, you just Like after I could run better than that nigga. Like, it's like, what are you talking about, man? Jake just bugged out, man. But this truth is significantly more important than football or martial art. Any analogy we could use, this truth is infinitely more important than those things. So how much more the ministry? These things should be plain. But again, pride, it all goes back to pride. That's the beginning of strife. That's the beginning of when a man turns away from his maker. And that's the beginning of your destruction. Pride. And did brother have anything else?
They got a good one on the comment board.
Okay.
I got one too.
This one right here. Romans 13:1 in the NLT says anyone must submit anyone must submit to governing authorities, for all authority comes from the Most High, and those in a position of authority have been placed there by the Most High. It says, so anyone who rebels against authority is rebelling against what the Most High has, what it is, and instituted, and they will be punished.
They will be punished, plain. So we see what's about to happen to these guys. We see what's about to happen to a lot of these reprobates. And really right now, the Lord's just making it known. He's just making them spew more and more madness so that when they get judged, Israel can look and see, oh, okay, don't be like that guy. You don't want to be like a scoffer. You don't want to be like a weirdo. You don't want to be like a novice lifted up with pride. Pride is really the one of the main things you have to give up. Jake will give up pork. I don't eat pork anymore. Jake will give up linings, but won't give up pride. That's a big thing in the nation of Israel, man. You ain't got it, Jake. Just accept that, and then the Lord will begin to deal with you. Abarat if you have that number. So if your brother had anything else.
That's one of the chief three things that the Lord hate. He said he hate a poor man that is proud.
It was poorer than Jake.
Yeah. You can't be poor and proud.
Yeah.
We don't got to pick one of them better.
We see him every weekend. We see him every weekend. Proud and arrogant, boastful.
Busted.
Yeah, and busted and disgusted, man. You can't be all that shit and do what you do, man. Come on, man. Nigga don't even be having clean drawers on and proud, man.
For real.
Niggas, man.
No. Jake broke broken. Man, it was a broken nation, this is a broken nation, bro. Go ahead,
Yeah. So this lesson was edifying to the elect.
Somebody had one, huh?
If you want to close it out, it's okay, bro.
Oh, you got it. Salaki, you got it.
Oh, okay, all right, this is Sirach 11:8. Answer not before thou hast heard the cause, neither interrupt men in the midst of their talk. That's like you're saying, being in order, not cutting into what an elder's saying or apostle, a man over you, just letting it flow. Like you're saying, that symphony, we piping that song, it has to flow evenly, has to have a good tone, and just not cutting men in the midst of their talk, man, just staying in order when you're out there, and it takes you a long way.
God. Yeah, humility is it's something that's not valued in this world, especially in the time we're in. Everybody chasing clout, everybody trying to be that nigga, being truly humble, it's not something you hear all the time unless you your man finessed 2 times, he humble. But other than that, it's not a lot of people that glorify humility, man. So,
that nigga ain't humble.
Yeah, he not even humble. He got a song called Humble and he ain't humble.
He's not humble at all.
Oh man. Yeah. Anybody anything else? All right. So with that, we pray this lesson was edifying to the elect. We're going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahawah. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, which are the elders of the nation of Israel, and Shalawam to the hopeful elect. Shalawam.
Shalawam.
Shalawam.